The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the scenic Tactical Financial Studios in lovely downtown Phillipsburg. We are Sports Beat with Fredericks and Freed. I am John Fredericks. Mike Freed to my left. How are you, Mike?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Lovely day outside. You know, nothing but fun, exciting sports to be watching and had. And it's good to see you again. It's been a while.
You too, I know.
Anything new going on with you?
Usual. Retired life, doing some other stuff.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the retired life as well. You know, I give a little bit of advice. I had to learn that filling up 20 hours in a day is rather difficult. You got nothing else to do. So I've been bopping around trying to figure out, you know, going on one of those, you know, like Himalayan Tibetan, you know, monk retreats to figure out who I am and where I am kind of thing. It also involves drinking, but, you know, we don't have to talk about that. Mo on the side of the glass. Hi, Mo.
Going on? Maybe I can figure out how to work my own equipment. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be back again. This is always a good time. So we a lot to talk about, Mike. What do you? Should we dive right into the old sports, or have some witty banter for a minute or two, or what do you like?
Well, start off that I think big news this morning was that Derek Carr found out he needed decided he had to get shoulder surgery, so he elected to retire.
You don't think it had anything to do with the quarterback they drafted? He's probably going to be the backup coming in.
No, I don't think that. I think he knew it was time with everything.
What do you think of him, though? I mean, I never bought his act. I mean, yeah, he could win some games, but like he got injured more than he was on the field.
Well, that's what that one game where he broke his arm,
right?
And that's what did it. Really,
he's well, you know, the Saints. The Saints have that rookie quarterback now. They drafted in was like the third round, I believe. Yeah, all before Shedeur Sanders. Nothing made me happier than watching, and I feel bad, you know, because I don't know the guy from a hole in the ground. Nothing made me happier than to see that guy like basically with the party cake and the balloons and nothing to celebrate until the fifth round of day 2. Great.
Well, yeah. So you know more than me about him. Is he really as good as they say, or is it? No, he's not.
This is a very weak quarterback class, which I'll be fair to the Browns. Not necessarily the best in the draft capital, but they have 4 quarterbacks now. Like Deshaun Watson's never coming back, so he can go rape all the masseuses he wants.
Wow. Hey-oh.
And guaranteed $250 million the whole nut.
Shots fired.
The worst contract ever signed. And this guy's played 8 games. And but like, you know, Sanders for all the stuff I'm saying about him, he has a bomb. He has an arm. He is a good athlete. He's too short. And from what I was reading on X, I was reading there's a couple of scouts that are on X, and they were giving the idea behind him. And they were talking in regards that when a quarterback drops back and gets in trouble, they teach you to flare out to the sides. And his first move is to go back, and he doesn't change because he thinks he knows more than everybody else. And with his 4,000,
he's a Sanders. Of course he does.
Well, he wants to run.
Well, he's not Dion. There's only one Dion. You are not Dion, okay? And I'm a big fan. You can talk all the junk you want if you can do it on the field. And I don't think
you can say shit, though. It's not a kid's show. Don't worry about that. You'll be all right.
I'm trying to go clean the start. I'm gonna drop F-bombs at some point. But so the knock on him is that he's not that fast. He's not that big. And the 4,000 yards that he threw for, never mind the fact that you had the Heisman Trophy winner on your team, was the fact that he threw a lot of screens. He's got a bomb in screens, and defenses are going to pick that up right away. But having said that, he's got a good opportunity for all the garbage, because what is it? Kenny Pickett, that other rookie quarterback, that rookie's got to be feeling great. He got drafted before Sanders, and then Sanders on the team. He's got a real chance to start. I mean, he really does. Like it could actually happen, like with how it went. And maybe the Browns got a steal. Like,
They did.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on do you think they got a steal?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I think so. And the whole idea of the draft, who do you think? I mean, everybody knows I'm a Cowboys fan, America's team. Please don't say otherwise.
Oh my God.
And there I was on draft day screaming and yelling, at Jerry Jones because we only have one receiver to throw to. Yes, indeed. We have one receiver to throw to, and then he throws me a Christmas surprise, picking up that crazy George Pickett from Pittsburgh Steelers. So who knows? Maybe we'll have a good year or not. The Giants
did good.
Giants and Jets both had great drafts. Abdul Carter is going to be a beast if he doesn't get hurt for like the next 15 years.
I'm impressed.
Mm-hmm. You're a Jet fan or Giant fan?
Jets.
So what did you think of the Jets?
Oh,
draft?
my condolences.
I know.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of the Jets draft? I thought they did
pretty good.
What was your favorite?
Of course, they do need a quarterback, but we're going to stick with. I think it's going to.
Well, pause. Stop
Taylor.
with this we stuff. This is a pet peeve. This is a pet peeve of mine.
The Jets.
Yeah, thank you. I mean,
Okay.
I have a strong feeling about people who identify to these teams as we. It's not we. Where are you lining up on their offensive line? You're not lining up on their offensive line. It's they.
Mike
We're gonna beat you.
Mike threw 5 touchdowns for Polk High in 1986.
Wow, good reference. Not everybody gets the Married with Children reference. Dating yourself, bro.
But yeah, so I thought the Jets and the Giants both had excellent drafts. I mean, unreal. And I just, like I said, I just enjoyed it with Sanders because, I mean, all right, I get it. Most NFL players are cocky for the most part, but he took cockiness to like new heights, concentrated cockiness. And I couldn't do things with that. What do you see for football this year? What do you think the Giants and Jets records? What do you think they're going to be? You think they're going to contend for anything?
Originally, before the draft, I like everyone else. Giants weren't making the playoffs.
Right.
I think they'll make the playoffs this year.
You like what's
The Jets? I think they'll make the playoffs too. Just barely.
The
You
Jets-
don't sound too confident, bro.
Well, neither one of those teams is very good, but the Jets, I think, are better than the Giants right now.
Right.
They are just on talent on the field. I think they're a better team. But,
It's just the quarterback.
but you're playing in a division with the Bills.
Yeah.
It's you got to handle that. Miami. There's a lot of decent teams that you got to go up against.
Right.
So we'll see how that all works out. And I don't think the Giants make the playoffs this year.
No.
I don't. They're going to start that rookie quarterback. And I mean, he won't start right away. Probably second or third game they'll bring him in, and then they'll just take their lumps. I was glad the Jets didn't jump into the quarterback draft. They were. This was a weak year. The quarterbacks are next year, so maybe it's a lost season for one of these teams. Giants are still getting over letting Saquon Barkley go.
So wait, the Jets haven't had a lost season? I'm just
No.
As I like to tell all my Jets fans when they break my shoes, is I was born, we landed on the moon, and the Mets won the World Series when the Jets won the Super Bowl.
Mets fan.
How about that? Let's go Mets. Look at my team. Rocket ship they're all going. Look at that. Great comeback kids, all great pitching. Our highest ERA on the team is 3.05. That's Peterson. They're all going 5-6 innings.
Meanwhile, after the All-Star break,
We'll have our pitchers back
Yes,
too by that time.
We mock those.
here we go again with the we. We'll have our pitchers back. You're on their 26-man roster. What is going on here?
The Mets will have their.
Excuse me. We'll have our. Don't be critiquing this show. All right.
You're right. You're right. Fair is fair. You're right.
Okay. We're rocking and rolling. We are rocking and rolling over here. So,
But before we get all of that,
Sure.
the big topic again today, also 3:30, Knicks at MSG against the Celtics. The two big comebacks, down 20 points
Exciting stuff.
within
Exciting
the
games
fourth
to watch.
quarter. Also, from what I believe it was at that point,
Mm-hmm.
it was only a 99% chance that the Knicks would have won that each game.
Right.
And it happened twice in a row.
I
That's what happens.
Well, you see, Portnoy keeps changing his prediction. At first, he was like Knicks in 4, Knicks in 5. Oh, I'm sorry, Celtics in 4, Celtics in 5, Celtics in 6. Yeah, huh?
Well, he said the gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, 100%.
Portnoy's got his mind occupied.
It could be the Knicks instead doing the gentleman's sweep. But
Portnoy's got his mind occupied with the F the Jews guy and going back and forth with him. So, and I'm very happy to see it. Very happy to watch him tear that guy apart. And the more they find out about him, the more I dislike him. Let him. He's the GoFundMe guy that can't raise any money. They can raise money for accused murder and some Nazi female making $1 million, and he can't get a nickel.
Well, that guy supposedly went on some Nazi podcast.
Yeah, Stu Peters.
Yeah,
and right in the middle of it, what did that guy say? Oh, they're all. All apologies. They're all filthy Jews, I believe is what he said. Right. And I sat there and you're sitting on a podcast trying to make your case for something and you do that. And you don't clap back on this guy for saying that. Oh my God. But Portnoy's on point with that though. I'm very happy for what he's doing. I think more people should do that and come out against like when people do dumb stuff like that. It's not a kid prank. That guy's
Tommy's questioning Freed's Jewness. Is that even a word? Can we say can we say that? I'm not even.
I don't think he's circumcised.
I'm not sure we can even say that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, while we're on the subject of religion, Villanova, the Pope, my tribe.
Good segue.
I think we have a picture. Do you have that picture by some chance?
Which one's that?
The one with the Pope and all Villanova.
Stand by. Let me see what we got here. There you go.
There you go.
You're just jumping out of order. Listen, I don't know if you know what goes on in this booth, but we are what the kids call retarded. So you got to go real slow with us.
There you go with the we again. I thought we were.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, it's
Say
Yeah, I'll take ownership. You're correct. I'm retarded.
But
divine intervention,
and right up there, he's a Chicago White Sox fan. That's about as good as
originally. Everyone said he was Cubs, but that changed with his brother. Saying that.
I like the interview he had with his brother, like the
telephone call.
Yeah, he's just a regular guy.
Yeah.
And why aren't you picking up your phone? You didn't pick up the phone for the Pope. It's great.
And then also with the nickname, you also see the prices are just
out there. Garden. And now they're playing well. It's like when we were talking like briefly about the Mets a minute ago. It's the prices for these tickets are going like early and they're going through the roof. It's going to be for me. It's going to be difficult to get to a bunch of games this year. It's going to be too much. I don't have that kind of ready cash.
$54,000 for who's paying? Where are they sitting?
Side, I'm sure.
I'm assuming that's floor seats. So
$54,000. Wow.
I think you guys got a caller. Hold on 1 second here. Go ahead.
What's up, Mo? What's up?
Oh, you boys know who this is.
Fredericks.
Oh, look who it is. Hello.
Hello, Lopich.
How are you?
The Knicks on in 10 minutes.
The what? The Knicks? Oh, they're on in 10 minutes. Yeah. We were discussing that in the back room for a little while that the Knicks were coming.
And the Knicks are going to win this game, too.
You have high confidence. They were down 20 points twice. How many 20-point comebacks do you think they got in them?
That's the problem.
They got Brunson, Brunson's going to take the team to win this game. And if Karl Anthony Towns win this game, too.
Okay, well, that's one way of looking at it, I guess. I'm still in the Portnoy camp. I still think the Celtics are going to pull it out, but who knows? Celtics are a better team. The Knicks have gotten some luck their way.
Do you think they're going to pull out 4?
Yeah,
4 wins.
The Celtics are not going to win. They're a strong team.
Okay, well, the Knicks weren't supposed to contend at all. But like everything else. It doesn't really matter what in the regular. It doesn't matter at all the regular season. That's why they have that fake little playoff in the middle of the season because nobody's watching the winter ballet, as I call it. But and the players don't even care until 3/4 of the way through the season. So I guess look, if I'm going to be fair to the Knicks, they're clicking at the right time. And that's all it ever is. If you go out and play the game, and if you're clicking, you're clicking.
I just got a text from someone showing me a picture. I can't give it to Mo in the booth right now, but it looks like Steve Cohn and his wife.
Fredericks, you want to watch the movie later?
Are at the game.
Yeah, Eric, don't worry about their conversation, bro. You just jump in wherever you got to get in. Remember when I used to be high pitch and then I had knee surgery and now I'm low pitch?
I want to be there.
You should have been here, bud. Tommy wasn't willing to pick you up.
What's the picture with Uncle Stevie?
Someone's gonna have to pick me up next week.
He's cutting in and out.
And Fredericks is gonna have to pick up.
Oh, I have to. It's not a request. It's I have to pick you up. I say. What's the picture with Uncle Steve?
It was Uncle Steve with his wife Alexa, front row at the Knicks game today, and tonight they're at home against the Cubbies.
This guy's worth $15 billion. I think.
So I think he could afford 54,000
seats. I think he's okay. I think he has that pocket change. They once did a speaking of money. They once did a thing on Bill Gates. If there was like money on the ground, how much money would have to be on the ground for it to be worthwhile for him to pick it up? And it was like $75,000 was worth that amount of time for him, the amount of money he's worth to pick up and get it. Can you imagine that? 75 grand. Nice stuff.
Eric, you have anything else to add? These guys got a guest waiting, so just get it all out now.
No, I'm gonna watch the game.
All right, well that's great, bro. Thanks. Thanks for chiming in. You got a guest waiting. I'm gonna bring Larry up. You want to do the lead in on it?
You gonna do the lead?
Yeah, I'll do the lead. If Larry. Hello, Larry.
Hey guys, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. Mike, I know you. Who's on the other side there?
I'm John Fredericks, Larry. Nice to meet you.
John, how are you? Good to meet you.
Pleasure.
So I know it was a busy day for you. I know we're busy couple of weeks coming up for you too.
Yeah, we're coming up on law enforcement torch run in New Jersey, and that's what I guess I'm here for.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the Lincoln Tunnel 5K that we just had over the weekend, and a little bit about the law enforcement torch run and how police officers in New Jersey, actually all over the world, can get involved.
Well, I guess to introduce everyone, this is Larry Mays. You're retired from Port Authority Police Department, is correct?
Correct.
Over 20 years?
25.
25, and retired.
I retired as a detective out of Newark Airport.
Fun times.
Greatest ever.
2018.
Love you, kid.
What was that?
I said one of the greatest ever. Love you.
Is that Josh?
No, well, it's Mo. I mean, you can call me John. I mean,
Mo.
You
Sorry,
can call me
Mo.
whatever you want. Yeah, no.
I didn't realize we were going incognito. I would have given you a different name.
Nah, don't even worry about it. These guys fuck it up all the time anyway, so don't worry about it. Yeah, you call me whatever, bro. You get that off.
Well, I know, Larry. I know we spoke briefly. I originally thought that you started this whole
tunnel run,
but I know you really helped out because of you could tell everyone why.
Well, it started long before I got there. It started a few years before I got there, but the torch run itself, I actually ran in when I was a Bergen County Sheriff's officer with a couple of friends of mine as part of the Paramus Police. And then after that, when I got to the Port Authority, I come to realize that the Port Authority was the main agency for the law enforcement torch run in New Jersey. And I was lucky enough to have a guy at the Lincoln Tunnel who was involved. He dragged me in. I had a cousin who had Down syndrome, who was born a year before me in 1959. And back then, if you had a child with Down syndrome, you didn't take the baby home. You might have taken it home for a couple of months and then eventually ended up institutionalizing them. And at that point, it started to change a little bit where people were keeping their child at home. And Special Olympics was just a dream at that point. And Eunice Kennedy was hosting, she used to have a camp in her backyard for children with intellectual disabilities. And she turned that a grassroots type of little camp into Special Olympics worldwide, which is just amazing. And being as I looked at my cousin and I thought, wow, too bad this wasn't around when he was coming into the world. I've just seen a lot of good that Special Olympics has done for individuals with intellectual disability, and how it's changed their lives to the point where they can function. They get out on their own. There's homes where they can go and basically live a normal life. And again, I always say to when I speak to kids or something, the word normal is such a weird. It's not even a word really, because there's no normal. Nobody's normal. So, but they can live a life of working and taking care of themselves and everything else. So it's amazing what Special Olympics has done for people with intellectual disabilities.
Now that there's besides the run, there's that's their bread and butter, the run, or is there any
No,
other?
the run is actually, we're just a little part of things. We raised $200,000 over the weekend. The law enforcement torch run itself raises approximately $750,000 a year. I'll get into that in a minute. We also have the polar bear plunge, the main one in Seaside Heights in February, which is basically 8,000 idiots running into the water, paying $100 to run into the Atlantic Ocean.
Wow.
In the middle of February.
Nobody said cops were sane. Just knock it off.
Right?
He told you already that
raised
no such thing as normal.
That raised $2.3 million this past year.
That's impressive.
So last year's fiscal year for Special Olympics, we gave them $4.4 million. The law enforcement torch run.
God bless.
Is that, are you guys like the highest? Do they go by chapters, or is it
They go by state or countries. Like some countries are on their own. All the United States have their own programs. I think we're in the top 5. We were number 1 for a whole lot of years. We, one of the first programs to hit $1 million. And we were number 1 in the world. And if you go around and you talk to people and they answer you honestly, they will tell you that they followed our lead in the way they put their torch runs together and the way they operated and everything else, because we had a great program, still have a great program. Unfortunately right now we're all getting a little long in the tooth. I'm in South Carolina, but yet I still, fly up or drive up for Special Olympics events in New Jersey. I'm still the race director of the Lincoln Tunnel somehow, some way. About 20 years after I left the Lincoln Tunnel, anybody want to take over, they can have it. But between a couple of 3 polar bear plunges, we do a snowball with the Giants. We have a golf tournament. We have the regular torch run, which happens on the day of the opening ceremonies of Special Olympics New Jersey's Summer Games. That's where police officers from all over the state of New Jersey carry the torch towards Trenton and towards the opening ceremonies of the games, where it's one torch is met, and that torch is carried into the stadium that night to light the cauldron. And that's probably around 3,000 cops do that day.
Is it always in New Jersey, or?
Well, there's levels. Every state has their own torch run, okay, that participates. And I think all 50 do. Every state and country has their own torch run. We also have for the World Games, which happen just like the Olympic Games, every 2 years. They do 2 years in the winter, then in 2 years they do the summer, same as the Olympics. We do a final leg of the torch run for the World Games. And that's where cops from all over the world, about 100 of them, and in fact, it just happened in Italy not that long ago, get together and they carry the torch for the athletes into the World Games.
Have you gotten an
I was lucky enough
opportunity?
to do that in Idaho in 2009, and it is a life-changing event. I hate running. I hate the cold. and I found myself in Idaho in the middle of winter running with a bunch of other guys from around the world. But I made friendships that to this day, these people are some of my best friends. And athletes. I met athletes on those runs that, I have an athlete who lives out in Oregon who comes and visits me. Every couple of years, he comes out and stays with us at our house. And the change in him from the day that we met him when he got on that bus with us to now is just amazing. He didn't talk. He wasn't very social. He wasn't very outgoing. We changed that in about 3 days. And he turned into a terrorist at home. So he's a good kid. Now he's in his, he just turned 40 actually this year. So those relationships that you make along the way are just absolutely awesome. And same in New Jersey. I have, oh my God, so many friends with intellectual disabilities that participate in Special Olympics that, they would come to my parties, they would come to my barbecues. They're just friends. And my kids have been involved with this since the beginning. It's taught them a lot. That's Heather Anderson. She's the CEO of Special Olympics New Jersey. And they've just, my kids learned a lot about how to treat people from being part of Special Olympics and how to, take care of people and people who don't have the same opportunities as you, include them. And that's what's big right now is inclusion. We try to preach that, is that, there's nothing wrong with these people. They can be included in everything that you do, and they want to be. And, we have a lot of fun doing it.
Now with I know our Port Authority, I'm assuming NYPD is also involved in some way too.
Yes. Yeah. New York has a great torture run program too.
And I'm trying to think a way to, I know how you say the kids learning from you guys too. If we could like tie that in with, with the regular society to go both ways. Cause I know, I guess mental illness is becoming a big thing,
especially with kids.
With kids now, the whole autism and other stuff, all tied in somehow.
Is that tied in with the Special Olympics too, or is it just specific?
Oh yeah, no. It's autism is part of being intellectually challenged, and you could your child, if they're autistic, can participate in Special Olympics. And there's various levels. They go by the athletes, basically the athletes' level of competition, and just like other school events and stuff like that. If they're not, they run in heats and they run in separate groupings. That keeps them with people who of the same athletic ability, and make it a little more fair for them to potentially win a gold medal or a bronze medal or a silver medal. And there's, I think right now there's 21 sports there that the athletes participate in. Track and field events. They do bocce. They play golf. They ride bicycles. They, in the wintertime, they ski. They snowboard. They snowshoe, they skate, and the police officers are there to hand them their medals. And that's something that we do when there's an event and the athletes are participating. Police officers from New Jersey go to these events in uniform, and we put the medals on.
And I was going to say, me and Burke were down at the College of New Jersey. It's amazing stuff you do. It's amazing. Seeing it in person is different.
How did you feel when you walked away from that?
It's amazing.
Right?
It's what you guys are doing is so great. It really, really is. And especially when you see like how much it means to these athletes, like that we're there and the kick they get out of us being in uniform, and it's a changing experience. Any cop that has the opportunity or the access to go down and do that, I highly encourage it. You will get a lot out of that day.
Friday, June 6th is the opening ceremonies this year. We need as many police officers as possible to come down in uniform. Around 6:30 at the College of New Jersey. You come down, somebody will direct you to where all the police officers are lining up, and we march in as a group, and then we form a kind of an honor shoot, I guess you would call it. And every athlete walks through that chute, and we high five them as they go by. We hug them. Some of them jump into your arms. You got to be ready. And they love us. They love the fact that we're there. They love the fact that we're on their side. Like I said, the athletes, I don't think they realize at their level how much $4.4 million is to that program. But we basically pay for that summer games and all the equipment and uniforms and training. The money that the police officers give to Special Olympics New Jersey goes directly to the athletes.
And I mean, this goes to what we always say: like, no one cares about their community more than the American law enforcement officer. I don't know how much I can preach that.
I don't know how we've gotten away from that, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, and that is the takeaway. That is the takeaway from that day when you see that, like how much we invest into our community. It can't be overstated.
It's amazing how much you've grown that, and I'm always amazed by where Special Olympics got its start because of Rosemary Kennedy, that was the special needs daughter that they. But you were right when they locked people away back then. You were hidden from view, and that's kind of what happened to her. Right. And just to see what Eunice Kennedy and Sergeant Shriver built and what you're building on, it's really amazing to see. Like, I do a lot of things with special needs too, not necessarily the Special Olympics, but it is one of the most rewarding things I've ever had the privilege to deal with, and that's some of the nicest people. And you're right, the reward for you and the reward for all of us is the smile on those kids' faces, being able to participate and be part of you don't like using the word normal society, and it's very enriching. And my hat's off to you for doing it all these years. I mean, I know you had a personal attachment that I guess got you started in it.
Once I started it anyway, and I think it holds true for most people that do it. Once you start it and you feel it, you can't get away from it. There's no better feeling in the world. There's no better adrenaline rush. I don't care what you want to talk about. There is nothing better than that feeling when that athlete throws their arms around you or high fives you. It's just so innocent and pure. That's basically what it is. And I always say, it's not what we put into Special Olympics, it's what we get out of Special Olympics. The heart, your soul, what you pull from that is more important than what we put in. And my dog agrees. So it's such a feeling. So if you're around on the 6th of June and you want to come down, you could reach out to me or Mo, and I'll set you up and meet you there and get you set up to go in. And then the weekend after that, Saturday and Sunday, we have police officers in uniform just giving out medals at every venue, every sport.
Hey Larry, it's Tommy Werther. I'm in the booth here with Mo.
Hey Tom,
how are you? Thanks for coming on, man. This is really great stuff you're talking about, and raising awareness continually, like you have been, and like so many others have. I had a quick question. RFK recently had made some comments that were controversial in regards to autistic children. He said something along the lines that a lot of these kids will never have a normal life. They won't play sports. They won't pay taxes. They won't have jobs. And he caught a lot of flack from parents of autistic children or special needs children but he also received a lot of support. And I guess the support side was, some of our children won't have what is quote unquote the normal life. Have you found any, I guess opinion wise, do you feel that he was off base? Have you gotten feedback from other parents saying like, this is ridiculous, or was it more of a supportive statement, do you think, or more of something to discourage?
It's something to discourage. I think that was really a disgrace what he said, the family that he came from.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to talk politics. I do not talk politics.
No, this definitely is not a political thing.
Yeah,
this is more of the
you.
family and the sports that you're involved in. And I was just curious as to.
It was such a pitiful statement for him to come out with, because,
like you said, from the family, the aunt that, there's history there that some people know, some people don't. We won't get into that.
Right.
But I did see both. I personally didn't agree with the statements myself. Anytime you can discourage somebody that's kind of behind the 8 ball and you're almost kind of diminishing their progress is not a good thing.
100% correct. I'll take him on a tour and show him exactly what autistic people can do.
Great.
Even to the lowest level of ability, they're still able to work their way out of that and exceed what they would regularly be able to do.
Yeah. Well, that's what these games do.
And it's right. The games, the Special Olympics, unified sports, having other people give a shit. Pardon my French.
I think it's a good point, though. You have someone like that to actually come out to an event and talk to people without being attacked and say, well, you know what? Because it's possible for someone to actually say, you know what, I was wrong on this. Right. And to prove him wrong, and the proof is in the pudding. How anyone can come to an event like that and see the joy and the accomplishment and the sense of pride that these families have to do anything that would take away from that is just criminal.
It's a shame, and I feel bad that he had that opinion.
Yeah. Well, we can change it.
Maybe he's just coming from like his own personal view about his aunt. And I didn't have. Maybe I'm the contrarian in this. I didn't have the same reaction that I guess you had to what he was saying. I think he was more of a pragmatic way of looking at it. Like he's saying that, like, I guess he was talking about severely autistic, because there's levels of it. And
some people,
I thought maybe he was talking about the hardest level.
Make us more aware.
Yeah, aware that they're no matter, there are certain people that are just going to need lifetime care. I mean, and maybe that's what he was talking about. I'm just trying to think it through another way.
I agree with what you're saying. There are, intellectual disabled individuals that probably need lifetime care. However, the number of those people is lesser now than before the Special Olympics came into existence.
Agreed.
Before his aunt started Camp Shriver. Right. And I don't always agree with Kennedy's, with their opinions and stuff like that. When it comes to politics, I'm independent. I lean conservative, but my attitude is I vote for the person, not necessarily the party. And in his particular case, I just feel that very uninformed, very uninformed. My friend from Oregon, for instance, like I said, when we met him, he was quiet. Guys, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Is it a Chihuahua?
I thought Mo was playing with the board again.
I locked them in here so they wouldn't be with the loud one. So they, we met him, and he was, kind of mellow and an introvert. And like I said, within 3 days, we had him dancing on the bus and doing crazy stuff with crazy cops. And when he went home, his mother reached out to us because we were setting up a trip for him to come to New Jersey. And she said the change in him was a life-changing change. And he got a job. He works at a Safeway in Oregon. And After that, he now lives on his own. He never would have been able to do that.
And this was right after being involved.
Right, 2009, right. So from 2009 to now, he has grown as far as his personality and being able to handle situations. Funny story, he flies out, and my buddy who's an Oklahoma City cop met him flew to him in Oregon and flew to my house in Jersey. And both of them came. But to go home, he was going to have to fly on his own for the first time in his life. Took him to Newark Airport. I was able to go behind screening, took him right down to the gate, put him on the plane. He gets on the plane. I'm waiting. The plane's delayed.
Oh.
Plane's delayed again. Now he is flying to San Francisco, and he has to catch a flight from San Francisco to Medford, Oregon. He missed that flight. So he's in San Francisco at the international airport by himself. And all I could think is I killed a Special Olympic athlete. I'm a horrible person. And I made
total opposite
calls. And again, it goes to the law enforcement torture run community around the world. I was able to find a guy who was working at the airport that minute that was a torch runner. And he went to the counter because Aaron was having trouble communicating with the people that what was going on and what he needed. He went to the counter. He helped him communicate. He got him a hotel room. They drove him to the hotel room, and they picked him up in the morning, and they brought him back to the airport.
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
Now, I get the call from him that he was okay. And he's like, I'm laying on the bed. I got a bunch of candy. I'm just hanging out watching TV. I'm like, how much candy do you have? Your mom said no candy. She's like, oh, they let me buy candy. I'm like, all right. And his mother was just so thankful that we were able to get some. She thought she was going to have to drive to San Francisco. But there was a guy there who was a torch runner. And all I had to do was call him. I didn't know the guy. I just called him up, found out he was a torch runner. Somebody got me his number. I called him up. He took care of it. And that's the community that is torch run. Now, fast forward 4 years later, Aaron flew on his own to New Jersey, stayed at my house, and flew on his own back. So that's a big step.
Sure is.
And like I said, now he lives on his own.
Well, listen, I'm going to jump in here too. I'm not letting this segment end without us talking about Murph. Give me just, however you can sum him up. There's no way. We're escaping this segment without talking about him.
I should have sent you the picture. I wouldn't even know how to put it up, but
the one of him running with the torch. Yeah. Yep.
Oh no, actually, the one of him and I holding the torch the night of a summer games.
You know what? If you have it, I'll put it up later. But if you have it, text it to me.
I'll send it to you.
We'll upload it during the show. We'll put it up later.
But he he was an inspiration for everybody. He had a run, the Jersey Shore run, that raised by itself over $100,000 just on that one day. And he took cops under his wing and taught them torch run and what to do and how you should react and how important it was for us to do this. And he loved the athletes. His passing was tragic. If you go to the headquarters of Special Olympics New Jersey, there's a tribute for him in their back patio area. He was just a fantastic guy. Now, Mo, you've been on torch runs with him, so you know.
Yes. Yeah. No, he was one of one, and he was special to me. I mean, outside of the Special Olympics,
all around.
Hypothetically, when I first got to Newark Airport and was going through what I was going through, he was just an amazing human being, and the way he connected with his cops, he was a friend before he was a supervisor, and you could always hear the leather strap that he was throwing in his hand, swinging the keys, coming down. How you doing today, Murph? One more day above ground. That's all you ever heard. And he knew, I mean, sight unseen. Like, I was brand new out of the academy. He didn't know me from anybody. And he made it very clear as whatever I needed in regard to what I had going on. Like, you can't teach that kind of person. You just, he was one of one.
But he was a supervisor, and he knew management skills, and he knew how to separate the friendship from the supervisor. He knew how to make you want to run through a wall for him.
Yes.
And you guys were friends, but if you screwed up, he was going to eat your lunch. And he knew how to do that.
Rather than a supervisor is what I'm getting from it. Far too few of them these days.
I'm sorry, I didn't. What was that?
He's a leader more than a supervisor is what I'm getting, and there's far too few of them these days.
Correct. Exactly. Guys, they want to be your friends, and then they're not a good supervisor, and they get in trouble, and they just get stupid. Other guys become a sergeant or higher up, and they forget where they came from. Murph never did, and it was an honor, absolute honor, to work with him. And I'm actually going to be with one of our friends tomorrow. He's coming down here for a week with his wife, and he was very close with Murph too. He worked the run with Murph. They worked on the polar bear plunge together, and he just anything you needed, and his family, same thing. And that's one thing that I've noticed a lot with a lot of the police officers that are involved in this. They get their family involved. And I'll tell you one last quick story. I don't know how much more time I have, but I'll tell you one last quick story.
You got 3 minutes. Spit it out fast.
Okay. I started taking my youngest daughter to Special Olympics events when she was born. She's about 6 years old. We're in Oakhurst, New Jersey. We're in a 7-Eleven. Kid walks in and he has a Down syndrome little brother. It was big brother, little brother. And the little brother wanted something, and the big brother didn't have enough money or whatever. He wasn't buying it. And the little brother started to have a meltdown, literally screaming, yelling, acting out. And here's this 6-year-old girl who really, her instincts had to be to run away. And she just walked up to him and said, "Do you do Special Olympics?" And the kid turned and said, "Yeah, I do." She says, "What event do you do?" She talked him right down, 6 years old, talked him right down from his outburst. And it was just one of the most amazing things I ever saw. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm not the best father in the world, but damn, I did good here. And, it's true with all my kids. And that's more important to me than anything else, is that they learned.
Right. It's a testament to you.
Well, I don't know about that.
It is. So
I just want to give St. Peter. I want him to have to think about it before he hits the down button. That's just.
Well, no, forget that. We didn't say we're all going to heaven. We just said it was a testament to you. Calm down. We're all going to hell. Trust it. Well, no, Tommy says he's going. Well, that's because you're Jewish and you're the chosen people. I know.
Easy. But
all right, guys, you guys go, and then we'll go to break. You have anything else for him?
Well, like you said, your big event is coming up on June 6th.
June 6th.
If anyone wants to donate money,
we put the link in the comments. Yep.
Could you do that?
Yes. We absolutely did.
Right, Torch Run link. You can donate to Special Olympics New Jersey, but you can also donate to Torch Run, which would make it go to the cops end of things, and it would make it go directly to the athletes. June 6th is the Torch Run. If you're in New Jersey, your town probably is involved in some way, shape, or form. Find out who's doing it and ask them if you can help. We need young blood. We need some young blood because, I'm 64. I'm not going to be around forever. And that's where we are right now. We have a lot of older people that are doing this, and the young blood is slow to trickle in because, unfortunately, kids these days, they don't want to do anything. You can't get them to work overtime sometimes.
No, don't get me started, please, Larry, please. I was having a good day.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
All right.
I could do that. I could do that for my retirement perch.
100%.
Well, I just, this is my first time meeting you, and you're a genuine soul, like as my Jewish friends would say, a mensch.
A mensch,
And
yes.
and yeah, we should get younger folks involved in all this and keep this going. What a wonderful tribute, what a wonderful part of your life, and what a wonderful story you shared with us. And thank you for spending some time with me and Mike and sharing it with us. It was great.
Yeah, thank you.
There's a lot more, but it's good. We covered everything that I think we need to cover. If you want, Mo, you could slap my email address next to the law enforcement torch run link, and if
we'll put it in the comments too. Absolutely.
They could reach out to me, and I will gladly steer them in the right direction.
You're a great human being. You've even back from our again allegedly our Newark airport days. I love you, man. You are absolutely just like Murph. You are one of one, dude.
I remember meeting you in the arrest room.
Hypothetically, the work you're doing is amazing. It really is. And you may be elderly, but I guess it's true what they say. The elderly, those slow and dangerous behind the wheel, can still serve a purpose. So I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. And thank you again, Larry.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate coming on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Larry.
All right,
beautiful. We're gonna go to
A quick break. Yeah,
we'll go to a quick break. Stretch our legs, and then we back.
be back.
Welcome back to the Sports Beat, Fredericks and Freed. That was a great interview, wasn't
Yes,
it? I mean,
yes.
a lot of good information. Everyone who's listening or watching right now, you should consider helping out. Like there are many worthy organizations, but the Special Olympics does hold a special place for all family members and people with friends and family who have disabilities, and it's a wonderful thing to do. And I've had the privilege of not being involved with the Special Olympics per se, but other organizations that dealt with autistic kids. And I can attest personally how rewarding it is to.
100%. And we're going
Yeah.
to put Larry's email in the comments. Like he had said, anybody that wants to reach out to him direct, please feel free to do so. All help is welcome.
And don't forget, we're broadcasting from the Tactical Financial Studios.
Correct.
Look at you. Look
Correct.
at you, bro.
That's correct. That is correct.
Money.
Every day. So let's talk about, if not the greatest team in Major League Baseball, the New York Mets. Thank you very much.
Yes.
First place, 25-14, and I am pleasantly surprised.
It was a bit not a great. Well, wasn't a great start for Juan Soto, of course.
Nah, but I have no worries about him.
I don't have.
And
Yeah,
he's going to hit, and he has started to hit. The big surprise, and I think it's because he's playing for a contract, is Pete Alonso. I mean, monster amounts of RBIs and home runs. So he's got 10 home runs and like 27,
I think
9 home runs,
yeah.
and like
Well,
almost 30 RBIs already in the season.
we have. I know a lot of people that have been complaining about Soto. So I know I have a stat that's up there showing Soto, Alonso, and Lindor, basically 1, 2. The
Right.
top of the order. Why I think Soto's not getting too many RBIs right now is due to as I don't know if you can see,
It's okay.
Lindor has 25, Pete's leading with 34, and Soto's at 19.
Soto, though, I'm not. All right, I know baseball is a numbers game, and that's all it'll ever be, numbers. That's how you get in the Hall of Fame. Numbers. We were discussing the Hall of Fame earlier. I'm not going to stir Mo up with who.
Oh, please stir that up.
But,
Now listen, Soto's going to hit. Soto, he is an absolute proven talent. He is going to produce. I don't think any Met fan, any Major League Baseball fan has to wonder, whether Juan Soto is going to be productive. He's absolutely going to be productive.
the thing about Soto because I've been watching a lot of the games lately is he's not bombing home runs, but he's getting timely hits.
And he's getting on base.
He's getting on base and he's driving runs. in.
Right.
So, I mean, okay, so the average isn't quite there yet, and the slugging numbers aren't there yet.
Well, the whole thing, having Lindor now,
Mm-hmm.
when he leads off, gets a home run and whatever. So now he's second. I like the way the bottom of the order is. Right now, you have like I prefer Acuna at the bottom because he's like a number one, but with speed.
With McNeil there, though, Acuna's not going to have a lot of time to play, because McNeil plays second base and the outfield's fairly set. Soto's not coming out of a game. Neither is Nimmo. So, there's not a lot of opportunity for him to play right now. I like him.
Right.
He should stay on the team. They were right to send Beatty down and whatnot. I think and Alvarez, I was very pleasantly surprised because I was a big fan of Torrens when he was playing for Alvarez when he was out. But Alvarez is a very pleasant surprise with how he's hitting now. Unreal.
Yeah. Going back to what I was talking about for RBI opportunities, I like I said, I like the bottom of the order, but I have no problem with Soto at second. I was telling a couple of people maybe put him at batting third.
Right.
That way he gets more RBI opportunities because Lindor is the one who's benefiting from those guys.
True.
At the bottom of the order. And that's not leaving like Soto with
I think with the Mets, I'm shocked to say this. Once again, the brain trust of the Mets. The pitching, all right, it's early, but the pitching is phenomenal.
Right. That's what Stearns is known for.
And we're picking up like leftover spare parts from other teams, and somehow or another, this is all blending together. I'm very surprised by that. Because I would have thought, you're comparing yourself to the team in the other borough. Voldemort, the Yankees, and they just reload the Yankees every year. They just reload, and and I thought they took a risk, the Yankees, with grabbing Max Fried because he gets hurt, but obviously that is paying dividends. 1.04, 1.06 ERA, unreal. This guy's pitching.
Just that's the whole thing. He's right now your ace. Mm-hmm. You don't have Cole. You don't have Hill. Hill. If Fried goes down, then what happens?
How long do you? Here's a question. How long do you have the Devin Williams experiment? I mean, the guy's got an 11 ERA, and he's not. I don't think he's closing. Is he still closing?
No, it's a combination of him and Weaver.
Right. Yeah, no, I think they defer to Weaver. Yeah. I think that, and rightfully so. I think you have to defer. Weaver at this point.
I can't figure out. I mean, Williams is a good pitcher, and I can't figure out what's going on with him. He's a good pitcher. It's not
He's very good.
It's not a matter of he doesn't have the talent. I just don't know what's going on.
Well, for it, I like what Boone's doing. Let him come in the 7th or 8th. Right. He looks at I think it was the other night. He looked energetic, getting his 3 strikeouts, everything. And I think that although the night before, I think he gave up a key hit, but it seems like he's getting back on that track.
He's just got to find his way back to it. Yeah. Sometimes you get like the the yips, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden you're not putting that ball where it's supposed to be, and then and the major league batters are going to punish you every time you miss. But and on that, you were mentioning off air about Jason Dominguez.
Yeah, he had 3 monster home runs yesterday. What do we have? I know I said have something where it said
I put it up there. Don't criticize the booth. Jason Dominguez becomes youngest Yankee to have a 3-homer game. See, come on, listen.
Fun fact.
I'm on fire right now.
Fun fact: when Burke got to throw the ball out at the Somerset Patriots game when they honored him, Jason Dominguez was playing right field for that game. So we got to see him. Got to see him in a minor league ballpark, which was interesting.
And a debate that I started on a group.
Does Barry Bonds belong in the Hall of Fame?
No, not
yes.
that.
The answer is yes. He absolutely does.
Barry Bonds had Hall of Fame numbers when he was in Pittsburgh, and he weighed 160 pounds. And then he ballooned up like that girl that turned into a blueberry in Willy Wonka, and looked like he was holding a toothpick in his hands, and he's bombing home runs everywhere. We're all supposed to clap like harp seals for these guys.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Krabs.
Listen,
haters gonna hate.
Listen. Just like I was arguing with Tommy before, steroids was 100% cheating, just not cheating in the way that people they take the low hanging fruit and like, oh, Barry Bonds wouldn't have hit these home runs if he wasn't on steroids.
Wouldn't hit as many.
Bullshit.
No.
Bullshit.
No.
Look at the numbers that Aaron Judge is putting up right now, which are just superhuman numbers.
I tell people all the time, the one player in the major leagues that keeps my faith in just good ball players and whatnot, believe it or not, is a Yankee. I think Derek Jeter did it legit.
I like that.
I don't, and you saw his skills diminish predictably as he got older. He was never a bad player. He just became a good player when he was older.
Yes.
And I don't think that man put a drug in his body. I don't. And so when
other than the one that fights herpes, hypothetically, or Hep C,
the Valtrex and all that. And hey, did you get a gift baseball because of that thing on your
a basket? Yeah, maybe a gift basket. I don't even know
that he allegedly doesn't do. But but that's, if you want me to compare to somebody and you want me to say why he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame, that's the reason. That's the reason, is because there's guys in the major leagues that are doing it legit.
But again,
Mariano Rivera didn't take any steroids.
But like we were talking about before, that is an argument where you are comparing generation to generation. If you are comparing a generation to itself and saying who are the best players at their time, Barry Bonds, there's a no-brainer, because that entire generation was using steroids. They were all using steroids, and the people that were great were more talented than the other ones. So compared to their generation, They belong. They were the best at their time. Now,
Brady Anderson, who never hit more
stop
than 50
Brady
home
Anderson or
runs,
Lenny
and then
Dykstra.
50.
Lenny Dykstra. I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
they're. But and if you're one of these guys that you're a purist and you want to say that steroids has no place in the Hall of Fame, get over it. Ricky Henderson, Roberto Alomar, Ivan Rodriguez, David Ortiz, Biggio, Bagwell. Do you want me? It's already in the Hall of Fame. That's already there. They are targeting a select few people.
I think why they tolerated it, because if you recall, that was off the strike year. Baseball struck and they lost all of that popularity in baseball.
Wait, which year was
the
it?
90s, 94, I believe, is the strike year.
Well, but the bonds. I'm sorry.
But then after that, what happens is all these players come back. Nobody's watching baseball. No one was watching.
Correct.
The ratings are down. So how do you do that? You juice the baseball. You put more offense into it, and now all these guys are doing steroids. Remember, Mark McGwire had the Andro in his locker when he was being interviewed. And so no one cared. They all looked the other way. So if you want an argument for steroid people being in the Hall of Fame, that would be the argument.
Well, and listen, and I'm okay with you putting them in there with an asterisk. Put them in there and say, these people played during the steroid era. No problem. I'm okay with that. They still belong in the Hall of Fame. And you're 100% right. I mean, the strike year was either 94 or 95. I think it was 95. It might be 94, but either way, the if you look at the numbers that Barry Bonds put up the year McGwire, I think it was 98. McGwire and Sosa were having that unbelievable home run, jockey back, yeah. And he was just like under the radar. I mean, how can you blame that guy for being like, yo, I'm trying to do this and look at the numbers that I'm putting up and I'm not even registering. Fuck this. I'm going to start sticking the juice in. That's it.
To make your argument for you is steroids were the greenies in the 50s, know.
Well, there you go.
And
there you go.
And just because it's not called steroids now, I'm sure there are players doing things. You just don't
of course, no, they're just doing newer steroids that haven't been able to be picked up yet. And you are spot on. We were saying it earlier, like you can't compare generation to generation, and I agree with that. You can't say that Barry Bonds, it was a better home run hitter than Hank Aaron. You can't say that because what would if Hank Aaron was taking steroids at an age where his body was breaking down, he would have been getting stronger or at least been healthier. And what would Hank Aaron have done with 5 more healthy years? So to compare Barry Bonds to Hank Aaron, no good. I agree with
Griffey. And Griffey.
No, I don't think Griffey.
No, but a few more good years out of Griffey. Imagine numbers he would have had.
Griffey was fragile though.
There could be proof right now with the way that all these young pitchers and hitters, everyone's getting injured, all these kind of surgeries.
I have an alternate theory. It may be very well be drugs, and I'm willing to accept that. I think it's because we were talking about this on our first one about youth sports that these kids are playing baseball year round now. Year round, like there's travel leagues. There's you're playing 2 games a day. You're wearing
fall league,
like when I mean I was a little league phenom, basically what I was, and an average high school ball player. But I mean,
all right, Al Bundy, here we go.
Hey, greatest game ever. I hit 7 home runs, and no one's ever going to know. But so they, I think these guys are training too much. They're playing too much of one sport all the time, and the body breaks down predictably. It's kind of like, just a normal person. As you get older, your knees start to go, the hips start to go because the body wears down. And I think that's what's going on with these players.
Well, and they're also stronger, and it's totally different. And how much longer will Judge last?
Who knows? He's been hurt a couple times already.
That the hidden thing was that rib injury, which killed him a couple, hurt him long.
Yeah.
And I think that affected him for another year or two. And
well, I mean, he's got that monster vicious swing.
Well, clearly the rib injury didn't kill him. I mean, he's putting up insane numbers.
Well, that's now with him being healed correctly, because at the time the Yankee, it was hidden. No one really would say what was going on.
You're right.
Who knows? So we're not going to solve the steroid problem today on this little podcast.
No, we're absolutely not. You're on the 10-minute warning, so speed through it, my boys.
And then Pete Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, why? See, you're pushing all my buttons. He 100% belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Agree.
And they spited him. They were not going to give him the benefit or the honor of being alive to see himself put in the Hall of Fame, and they're 100% going to.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even though they're not listening and they don't care, if I was Pete Rose's family, fuck the Hall of Fame. I would have nothing to do with them. I wouldn't show up. I would have nothing to do with it at all, because they're absolutely going to do it. Yep. They're going to, and the turnout for that induction is going to be huge. And the Hall of Fame and a Major League Baseball, and everybody's going to make a whole bunch of money off of that. And fuck them. Pete Rose belonged in the Hall of Fame. These guys are athletes. They're not. You know, we don't honor them because they're morally. I mean, look at Ty Cobb. Ty Cobb was probably one of the biggest racists to ever walk the face of the fucking earth, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. They're not in the Hall of Fame because they're moral human beings. No, they're in the Hall of Fame because they're the best at what they do.
Right.
And whether Pete Rose was betting, whether he wasn't betting, I don't care. He is the all-time hits leader. True. Nobody put bat to ball more than him. He belongs in.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stop pushing my buttons.
So we'll shift gears a bit and not push Mo's buttons.
Let's push. Let's talk politics
as we're trying to wind this down and wrap up.
Fucking communist.
Yeah.
F1,
sorry, go ahead.
Do you enjoy the F1 there, Mike?
I do. I know a lot of people say auto racing is not a sport or anything like that. NASCAR is something. Indy is something, but the true racing circuit is F1.
True, it is. Well, no, I mean, NASCAR is incredibly popular in the United States.
In the United States.
It's my favorite origin story about sports. You know how NASCAR started? Bootleggers. They got cars that had to go faster than the police cars. And so on the weekends, they started racing them around. That became NASCAR.
There is no way you can prove that.
That's prove that. 100%. Google it.
Oh, well, if Google says so.
Well,
that's correct.
Well, and the big news ending last year towards the middle of the F1 season, you know, Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton announced he was leaving them to go to Ferrari. So they had an open spot. You have like 12, 15, 20 teams. It's insane. I would call it their true F1 is really the most expensive sport.
It is.
This graphic that you had us, this picture you had us. How old is that kid on the left?
That's
no, stop it. He's 12.
No, he's 8.
Wrong.
At the time he was
Wrong.
17. That's Kenny.
He's 12.
No.
He
just turned. He just turned.
He
18.
does look 12, right?
Looks like one of the. Looks like one of those boy band guys. You know?
And
right.
that's
One
Kenny.
Direction.
Yeah.
He was signed, brought up from F2, which was like a surprise. It was a big announcement. Took over for, like I said, Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton went to Ferrari because he wasn't happy the direction that he was going with Mercedes. And they took a risk with this young kid. And his very first race, he finished 4th place. Every race, he's basically finished 4th, 8th, 6th, 11th, 6th, 6th. He's 6th place right now in the points. He's basically the future of F1 right now.
Excellent.
Wow.
The shifting gears again, because I watch some F1. I'd like to go to a live race one day just to kind of experience it. I've been to an IndyCar.
They say it's a great time.
I've been to an IndyCar race, and when you're right on the track, like if you're walking by, you realize just how fast these nuts are driving around.
It's unbelievable.
The track. It's unreal.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable to watch live. And so, if I had some disposable income, maybe that $54,000 for seats on the floor of the Knicks. Maybe I could go see an F1 race.
No one's paying $54,000 to watch a Knicks. Stop it.
Uncle Stevie paid. I had a side issue, a side little topic I forgot to talk about earlier. What are your thoughts on sovereignty not racing in the Preakness? What do you think about that? Like, because there's this whole theory afoot now because the Preakness is the longest race. I believe it's a mile and a half, mile and a quarter. It's a long race, and a lot of these trainers don't want their horses racing in that so soon afterwards. So there's been this kind of idea that they wanted to change the dates so that everybody could do it. And then the purist, which I happen to be one of, the whole reason the Triple Crown is the way it is because it's difficult to win. But I think, are you cheating?
Turk says you can't be a purist and not want straws in your drinks.
No straws. I'm eco-friendly. I don't want this plastic.
Oh my God.
I didn't even know.
Sovereignty?
Yeah.
He's not racing in the Preakness. Going to race in the Belmont. And it's weird because they're redoing the whole Belmont track. I'm wondering where the Belmont race is going to be.
No, I thought the Belmont was the longer.
Maybe
no, it's the Belmont. That's
the Belmont's the longest. Okay,
yeah,
but he's not racing in the Preakness because he didn't like the way he was practicing or cooling down afterwards. Right. So I mean, these horses. And by the way, they're all related to Secretariat.
Yeah,
that's hysterical too.
Yeah, I mentioned something about that. Yeah,
but to finish up with a sport that Mo could care less about. Liverpool wins the Premier League.
Well, no, hold on. You got two other graphics here. You got St. John's versus Alabama, and you got Derek Carr. Let's talk.
We talked about Derek Carr earlier.
Yeah.
Did I miss that?
Yes, you missed
it.
it.
This booth fucking sucks, bro.
The booth was busy looking up all his little drops instead of following along with the banter.
This booth sucks. All right. Well, St. John's versus Alabama, I definitely didn't miss.
Well, coming off, I know when we left off the first time at St. John's got knocked out. But looks like Patino's doing an excellent job with the scheduling because it's SEC versus Big East.
It's great.
One of the biggest games.
That was a disappointment for me. I was really hoping that St. John's was going to go a little further, and they did not play well in that last game. They did not play well.
And it's at MSG.
Yep, that's great.
And people call Patino the Pope. So,
a little Pope tie-in from before.
And same thing with the Knicks and Villanova. You never know.
A Jewish guy talking about popes twice in one.
And
podcast.
There's the Pope back up with the Knicks. There you go.
We pay him top dollar for this. But yeah, so I was very happy. Liverpool's like running away with it. They're 13 points up on Arsenal, and the rest of the Premier League is basically playing for the bottom position in the Champions League and Europa League. If you follow it, you don't want to be in the Europa League, and you definitely don't want to be out. But so I tie it in because, and I like the English Premier League because there's relegation. So I was trying to tie that into like major league sports. There's certain towns that shouldn't have baseball teams. Miami shouldn't have a baseball team. Tampa Bay shouldn't have a baseball team. Nobody goes to it. And when you're the bottom three in the Premier League, you get relegated to a lower league.
Yeah.
And I think that would be ultra incentive for anybody in any one of these major leagues to know that, like, the Jets, who are perennial last place, and they're going to get bumped down to like the UFL or something.
No, the Jets are great. No, they're good.
Well, better this year.
The NBA kind of does that so they don't tank for the draft. I believe they penalize.
But imagine owning a major league franchise and knowing that next year
got to go down.
You're going down and not going to have any media and whatsoever. There wouldn't be an owner not spending money. There wouldn't be an owner not competing. And the Premier League is the richest league in the world. Like the amount of money that's going around with them, everybody wants to play there.
And the drop down actually ties in also F1. If you're not doing good, you could drop down.
And tying it all together with soccer, that Ryan Reynolds, and he owns Wrexham, and they bumped up 4 divisions. They're one division away, one more win, like one more getting to the top 2 away. No, the league before the Premier League. It's unheard of that these small market teams go anywhere. But I guess that's when you're an actor of renown,
right?
You can, and you got all that Mint Mobile money.
All right, you're the one with the hard 4:30 ending time. So drive it home. What do you got?
I'm very happy with how the Mets are doing. I'm very excited.
Fuck the Mets.
Yankees are playing a little better. My Cowboys, America's team. I was unhappy with their draft, but then all of a sudden we have George Pickens, so I guess we have someone to throw to. Dak still is not the answer. Don't worry about that.
I wish you could mute your mic and just give it just to Freed, but I can't. Keep going.
But as always, it's been a pleasure, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Not so much a pleasure with Mo. Mo can, he could keep quiet more.
Now listen,
better, less seen and heard. Your wit precedes you. But
well, I like that.
Yes. So once again, thanks again to everybody who tuned in. Thanks again for listening. And I'll see you all soon, Mike.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, no, and thank you to Larry Mays. I mean, that was that was a great segment, guys.
That was.
We put all the contact info in the comments. Again, Larry's email is in the comments. So please, anybody that wants to get involved, wants to help out, feel free to email him direct. Like he said, they need young blood. So please get involved in that. You guys have no idea when your next show is.
We'll have it by this week.
Yeah, definitely. We should have something in June.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Guys, great show.
You too.
See you later.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.